Ava DuVernay's film Origin is both a biopic of the author Isabel Wilkerson and a narrative about investigative journalism. Inspired by Isabel Wilkerson's book Caste, The Origins of Our Discontent, which became a bestseller after the George Floyd tragedy. The film follows Isabel while she investigates and writes her book despite great personal tragedy. The movie's plot is almost a stream of consciousness as it follows Miss Wilkinson piece together the central thesis of her book, which aims to find the connection between American slavery, Nazi Germany, and India's rigid caste system. To quote Manhola Dargis of the New York Times, Wilkerson argues that to fully understand the United States and its divisive history, you need to look past race and grasp the role played by caste, which she sees as an artificial and static structural, quote, ranking of human value that sets the presumed supremacy of one group against the presumed inferiority of other groups. The movie is dense, and while it follows the through line of Isabel Wilkerson's life during the time she was writing the book, it also utilizes historical flashbacks to help tell the story. Origin begins with Ava's dramatic depiction of the last night of Trayvon Martin's life. The 17-year-old black boy who was fatally shot by George Zimmerman, a Latino night watch patrolman. The incident is the inciting moment for Wilkerson's book thesis. While speaking at an event for the book The Warmth of Other Suns, she runs into her editor, played by Blair Underwood, who asked her to write an article about Trayvon Martin. She's intrigued, but ultimately declines, not wanting to do assignments anymore. But he insists she at least listen to the 911 tapes from that night. Reluctantly, she does, and the audience is given a further dramatization of what happened the night George Zimmerman fatally shot Trayvon Martin. The questions that arise for Wilkerson during the listening of those tapes become the basis of her book. Interlaced with the research and discoveries for her book, Isabel suffers the tragic losses of her husband, Brett, played by John Barenthal, her mother, Ruby, and her cousin, Marion, played by Niecy Nash. Throughout the movie, she has conversations with her loved ones who have passed away, depicted by the imagery of Isabel laying down in leaves next to her deceased family member. Before her husband passes away, they have an argument. He accuses her of using her mother as an excuse to not write the Trayvon Martin piece. He accuses her of hiding behind her family instead of tackling her writing. It's a poignant accusation due to the fact that so many of Isabel's family members pass away before she throws herself into the writing of her book. While grappling with these immense losses, Wilkerson travels to Germany and India to research her thesis, and her research is what becomes Caste, The Origins of Our Discontent. While in Germany, she has an argument with a friend about the difference between American slavery and the Holocaust. Her friend believes them to be different because American slavery was about subjugation in the name of capitalism, while the Holocaust was about annihilation. The Nazis wanted to wipe the Jewish people off the face of the planet. It is after this argument that Isabel discovers the connection between American slavery and the Nazi Party. Nazi lawyers, when searching for legal basis for what would become the Nuremberg race laws, looked to the United States and their segregation laws for inspiration. While in India, Isabel meets with Dalit professor Suraj Yang and learns about the plight of the Dalit people, the lowest caste, and the Dalit activist Bhimrao Ambedkar. The Dalit people were once called the untouchables, and they were kept separated from the other castes, only allowed to perform the most lowly professions, for example, cleaning toilets with their bare hands. Martin Luther King Jr. made the connection between the segregation of African Americans and the Untouchables in his own article for Ebony magazine. Origin also tells the story of married couple Allison and Elizabeth Davis, two black anthropologists who fled Nazi Germany and worked with another white anthropologist couple, Burley and Mary Gardner, in an undercover project that saw them embed themselves in southern towns to research segregation. From their research, they wrote the 1941 book, Deep South. Another flashback tells the story of August Landmesser, a German man believed to be pictured in a famous 1936 photograph from Hamburg, Germany. The photo depicts a crowd of German citizens hailing all except the man believed to be August. He was originally a member of the Nazi Party, but became disillusioned after falling in love with a Jewish woman. Origin also tells the story of Al Bright, a young black boy who was forced to watch from behind a fence as his white teammates celebrated winning the Little League championship game. They threw a pool party for the team, but Al was refused access to the pool because the pool was whites only. We see a young Al eventually allowed access under the condition that all of the kids leave the pool and he never touches the water. This is one of the many heartbreaking dramatizations in the movie. The climax of the movie is Isabel Wilkerson finishing her book, Caste, The Origins of Our Discontents, and releasing it to the world. In both the book and the movie, Isabel Wilkerson identifies 8 pillars of caste, what she believes are the 8 factors that contribute to a caste system. 1. Divine will, the belief that the social classification is divinely ordained. 2. Heritability, the belief that your classification is inherited at birth. 3. Endogamy, the prohibition of marriage between the castes. 4. Purity and pollution, the belief that the dominant caste is pure and must be protected. 5. Occupational hierarchy, the reservation for the most desirable occupations for the higher caste. 6. Dehumanization and stigma, the denial of human dignity for lower classes. 7. Terror and cruelty, a means of enforcement for the caste system. 8. Inherent superiority and inferiority of the caste, the belief that one caste is superior to the other. Isabel Wilkerson is deftly played by Ingenue Ellis, with Brett, Isabel's husband, being played by John Barenthal. The two's chemistry comes to life specifically in a scene depicting their first meeting. Isabel is outside her home, dealing with a lazy gardener, when Brett, whose parents live across the street, starts up a conversation. Eventually, Brett steps in to get the gardener to do his job. Brett makes a comment about him being in white savior mode, but Isabel gives him a pass because he asked permission. It's a flirtatious, sweet scene that introduces the palpable love between the two characters. Niecy Nash plays Isabel Wilkerson's cousin, who later dies of cancer. Like always, Niecy's performance adds a dose of warmth and love to a movie whose subject is quite often serious and difficult to digest. Ultimately, Origin is a fascinating and humbling story to watch. Ava DuVernay's ability to take a book that's essentially a textbook and weave a heartful and emotional human story throughout showcases her talent as a writer and a filmmaker. What did you think of Origin? Were you impressed with Ava DuVernay's storytelling? Did you think Anjanou Ellis and John Barenthal had chemistry? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching Both Aunt Vivs.